Okay, so in this question we had to complete the correct matches. The first correct match is that £1 billion is equal to 1,000 multiplied by £1,000,000. Why is this the case? Well, £1 million is a figure that has 6 zeros added on, and £1 billion is a figure that has 9 zeros added on. So the difference between the two is 3 zeros. So effectively, to turn our millions figure into a billion, we just have to add on 3 extra zeros to this figure. It's all very well saying that, but how do we actually go about doing that? Well, if we know there's only 3 zeros difference between the two figures, we can effectively think of £1 billion as just 1,000 million pounds, and that's because to get from a billion to a million, we just multiply by 1,000 to get those 3 extra zeros. Likewise, if we wanted to go from a million to a billion, we would divide by 1,000 to remove those 3 zeros, and therefore the correct match was that £1 billion is equal to 1,000 times £1,000,000. Next up, we have £1 trillion is equal to £1,000,000 multiplied by a million. And this is because £1 million has 6 zeros added on, £1 trillion has 12 zeros added on, so this time there is a difference of 6 zeros between these numbers, so effectively we need to add on 6 extra zeros onto the millions figure to convert it into trillions. And the only way that we can do that is if we multiply our millions figure by a million. And therefore we can think of a trillion as just being a million millions. And that means, therefore, if we want to go from a trillion to a million, we just multiply by a million. And if we want to go from a million to a trillion, we do the opposite and divide by a million. Hence giving us a correct match that £1 trillion is equal to £1 million multiplied by a million. And finally, we have £1 million is equal to 0.001 billion pounds. Well, why is this the case? Well, we know that £1 million is a figure with 6 zeros, £1 billion is a figure with 9 zeros. 3 zeros difference between the two. As a result, if we want to get to the billions figure, all we have to do is find a way of dividing the millions figure by 3 zeros, and that would be done by dividing by 1,000 to give us the billions figure. So in this case, 1 million divided by 1,000 will give you 0.001 billion, because it's effectively just shifting the decimal point 3 places to the right. And therefore, those are the correct matches.